Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Heart of Vajrayana with His Holiness Tai Situ Rinpoche. We're excited to welcome you. There are more than 6,000 people who registered for this event from almost 90 countries. This program is being offered in 9 languages through Zoom and on YouTube in English only. As you've probably figured out, the Zoom and YouTube chat features are now open. We appreciate you saying hello and letting us know where you are from. We'll be closing the Zoom chat during Rinpoche's talk. It'll be open again at the end of the event, but the YouTube chat will be open throughout the entire program. For those of you who are taking part via Zoom, if you're having any technical issues, like if having trouble hearing, etc., please use the Q&A button to let us know or to ask your technical questions. On YouTube, you can use the chat feature to let us know if there's any technical issues you're facing. And now, for those of you who are taking part via Zoom, we have a couple of poll questions for you to answer. We appreciate your patience on YouTube as we go through this. So let's get that first poll. What is your main connection to Tergar? The options are joy of living, path of liberation, I am new to Tergar, or other. Looks like everybody's getting their answer in. That's great. We'll take just another moment to collect some more. Okay, so it looks like more than half of the people joining have connected with Tergar through the joy of living, about a quarter through our Path of Liberation program, and others are either new or joining, have some other connection to Tergar. And now let's look our second poll, which is what language are you listening in? And this really helps us a lot to make sure we have interpreters for the languages. So please take a moment if you're listening on Zoom to respond to what language are you listening in? Well, it looks like through Zoom, at least, the majority of people listening are in Chinese. So, but there's someone from every language that we're offering today. So welcome to everyone. And again, on YouTube, we're in English only. Okay. And now, with that housekeeping out of the way, I would like to welcome Tergar instructor Tim Olmsted to introduce Tai Situ Rinpoche. Hi, Tim.
Thank you, Beth. Good morning. So greetings, everybody. Guru Vajradhara, His Holiness Tai Situ Rinpoche, was born in 1954 to a farming and nomadic family in the eastern Tibetan kingdom of Tergar. At the age of 18 months, he was brought to his monastic seat, Palpung Monastery, and enthroned by the 16th Karmapa as the 12th in an unbroken line of emanations that began in the 11th century. As a young monk, Situ Rinpoche lived and studied at Rumtek Monastery in Sikkim, where he was trained under the close care and guidance of the 16th Karmapa. At the age of 22, Situ Rinpoche assumed responsibility for founding his own monastic seat, Sherabling Monastery in Bir in northern India. It is here at Sherabling that Mingyur Rinpoche trained and completed his 3 retreat under the close guidance of his root guru, Situ Rinpoche. As the supreme head of Palpung Monastic Seat, Situ Rinpoche oversees 180 monasteries of the Kagyu lineage, 300 other Bun and Buddhist monasteries, over 1,000 affiliated branch temples, and 18 monastic estates throughout Tibet. His Holiness is a great scholar, philosopher, poet, artist, architect, and geomancer. He is the author of more than 20 books in English. In 1980, Rinpoche made his first tour to Europe and has since traveled widely in North America, Europe, and Southeast Asia. He continues to tirelessly teach and transmit the sacred Dharma to students from all over the world. So with that, I'd like to invite my friend Stephanie Wagner, who will lead us in opening chants.
Hi, everybody. We are going to start with refuge and bodhicitta twice in Tibetan and once in your own language. Sangye chudang soki chok nam la janchu pardu dagni kyap suchi dagi jin soki pe sunam ki drola pinchir sangye drupader sho sangye chudang soki chok nam la janchu pardu dagni kyap suchi daki jin soki pe sunam ki drola pinchir sangye drupader sho. In the Buddha, Dharma, and Supreme Assembly, I take refuge until enlightenment is achieved. May the merit of my generosity and other virtuous deeds lead to Buddhahood for the welfare of all beings. The Four Immeasurables, twice in Tibetan, once in your own language. Samchen tam che de wadong, dewe gyudong dem pater gyurchi, dunala dong, dunala gi, gyudong drel water gyurchi, dunala me pe de wadam pa, dong mindrel water gyurchi, ni ring chak dang ni dang drel we dang yom chen po la ne pater gyur chi sam chen tam che de warang de we gyu dang nen pater gyur chi du na dang du na gi gyu dang drel water gyur chi Dunala me pede wadam padang mindrel water gyur chik ni ring chak dang ni dang drel we dang yom chempo la ne pater gyur chik. May all sentient beings have happiness and its causes. May they be free from suffering and its causes. May they never be parted from sublime bliss, free from suffering. May they dwell in great equanimity, free from attachment and aversion to those near and far. Mandala offering, once in Tibetan, once in your own language. Sashi puchun shukshin me tuk tram, Rira plingji ni degen padi, Sangye shingdu mikte puahi, Drukunam dak shingla drupader sho. Sprinkling the earth with perfume and strewing it with flowers, adorning it with Mount Meru, the four continents, the sun and moon. I imagine this as a Buddha realm and offer it, so all beings may enjoy this pure realm. Prayer to turn the wheel of Dharma, once in Tibetan, once in your own language. Semchen nam ki sampadang, lo yi je drak ji tater water, che chung tu mong tek pai hi, chu ki kolo kordu sol. In harmony with the different wishes and mindsets of sentient beings, please turn the wheel of Dharma of the common, great, and lesser vehicles.
탐게 독지 샥지리 손총 옌지메도 두제 본좀바 서지 룸보다브르 지베고 샥지 잘부 샤블라 차살로 다자 게 덤바 냠메 투베완베 샵지둘 치마메발라 고웨 랍드데데 고스음 그바침베 차살싱 잡수 치오 다자 게 빨덴 라마 리다 징크르잔츠 찹다 까지는 총바메비 때르첨분 좋게 샵지둘 마메발라 고베 랍드드드 고스음 그바쳔베 찬서징 접수 치오 다도 sentient 탐지지 주 진질라버 제도 솔 발든 자웰람마 림보체 다게 쭈르베메 데줄라 가든 침부건에 제존데 구송 투지 무줍잘도 솔 원나 남카다 냠베 심진 담제 남jan 람남메바 양타버 조베 산지지 공파루 모차랑 고버차 대치도 달람 담베 최삼원 제발라 취년베 군혼다 군제 남버다베 센살 I received a request from Tergar International, who was instructed by His Eminence Yongge Mingyur Rinpoche, and as per request, I am briefly addressing on this very sacred, important subject. This is involved with the transmission of the heart of Tantra. When we say Tantra, we are talking about one aspect of the teaching of Lord Buddha, which is actually representing the essence of all the teachings of the Buddha. As you know, the Tripitaka means Vinaya, Abhidharma, and Sutra. And then Tantra is above that, which is essence of all the Vinaya, Abhidharma, and Sutra. Then the heart of Tantra, introducing the heart of Tantra. This is an enormous task if we go into detail. But the basic is very, very precise. We have to go back to the original aspiration of Buddha Shakyamuni. 2,600 years back, he attained Buddhahood in Bodh Gaya, India, under the sacred holy trees, the Bodhi tree. But before that, 3 trillion eons in the past, he have taken the vow to reach the ultimate liberation, which every single sentient being throughout the entire universe can reach and will reach, because that is the ultimate potential, equal potential, incorruptible potential of every single sentient beings throughout the universe, space. Right now, I, as a human being, follower of Buddha Shakyamuni, we are addressing this to the humans. But it is for all sentient beings, from the highest, the God, to the human being in the middle, and the lowest, all the living creatures that we consider less fortunate than humans. All. That also includes the environment in which they manifest and dwell, the universe itself, which is actually composed of space, earth, water, fire, air, 5 elements. Now, knowing this, then each one of us equally capable and have the potential to be absolutely free or attain the Buddhahood, each one of us. Some of us matured and cultivated up to certain stage. Some of us less. But we all equal in potential and ultimate destination, that is to fully mature and free and develop our inherent incorruptible essence, nature, the basic nature, ultimate nature of everyone and everything. So, when we say introducing the essence, the heart of Tantra, then we have no choice but have to make it quite simplified. Otherwise, it is enormous for any of us to comprehend in our short time. because you request me to talk about 1 hour. So in this, to comprehend and represent this enormous subject have to be simplified. Now, let's look into it like this. As the definition of Tantra, I know because it is not English language or any other language, but it is a Sanskrit language. Because of that, people have to be explained what Tantra means. Otherwise, there is all kind of already existing perceptions. So these perceptions sometimes correct, sometimes half correct, sometimes absolutely wrong. Therefore, this need explanation. Now, the simple explanation should be, ultimately, at all time and beyond time, nothing is happening and nothing has ever happened to anyone and anything throughout the universe. That naturally means relatively all kind of countless, immeasurable things are happening to everyone and everything throughout the universe, relatively. Now, in Tantra, to identify these things that are happening to all of us, or these things that are actually formulated and cultivated by each one in their life and lives of others, and also in their surroundings. Now, this condition, this reality, of course, relative reality, temporary reality, of course, but that temporary might mean split second, or that temporary might mean eons. So, this reality has to be personally addressed, not necessarily to talk to other people, but to understand themselves. So, we manifest our body, our speech, and our mind. That is how we manifest. Long as we live in this body, then this kind of perception and state of mind is relevant, and our mind. And all kind of expressions, including speech, manifest from it. That is how we communicate with others, or that's how our mind communicates with body, and also other expressions such as speech. And you might ask me, how can you communicate with your speech to your speech itself? Well, most of us, some maybe more, some maybe less, but we talk a lot to ourselves, isn't it? And when we talk to others, we formulate the words in our head, our brain, and in our mother tongue language, or our second language, or third language. And you even say, when you talk, are you talking in English in your mind, or in which language that you're talking in your mind? How you think in which language? So all of this is very clear description of the mind and speech. And then mind and body, of course. Everyone on this earth functioning through their speech and their body. And mind is the master, supposed to be. But many times when our mind is forgetting or not aware of its profound, incorruptible essence, then our mind become the slave of our speech and slave of our body. And in between there, then all kind of emotions. And sometimes these emotions become neurotic emotions. But emotions derive through thoughts. And thoughts are more mature thoughts or more immature thoughts. If we indulge in our physical habits, then our thoughts and emotions become immature, because the definition of indulging is more than necessary. And it even goes further, not essential. So, this way, the Tantra, the heart of the Tantra, is to make us efficient as possible for our sake and for the sake of everyone around us and sake of everything around us, in the most wise, correct, productive, and natural in a sense, accordance with the incorruptible primordial potential. I am repeating this several times already. Very important to remember this. Now, in this, if we just go through few of the teachings of Tantra, the Tantra teachings is enormous, of course. But in this few, let's say, body, speech, and mind, I told you already, and very easy to relate to. The whole world, entire universe is our bigger body. And this physical body is our smaller body, but interconnected. Now, speech, the expression. When I do this, it means one. When I do this, it means two. When I do this, it means three, etc. When I do this, it means good, etc. When somebody smiles, it means positive. And when somebody does not smile, it means so many things. But if somebody frowns, maybe thinking very hard, or something very serious, or it even means something not so positive. So this way, then the body, speech, mind. And now the simple method based on this, you should not think that this is the only method. There's countless methods, but just one example. That is, mind at ease, content mind. So that mind which is content, not because the mind has given up on all the possibilities and creativities and so on and so forth. No. Mind is content that I am okay, he is okay, she is okay, everyone is okay, everything is okay ultimately. Therefore, I am not okay relatively, he or she or everything is not okay relatively, which is very easy to relate to these days, knowing the state of our world. Then it becomes less of a desperate, overwhelming, a negative, or let's say neurotic. And so that is the basic contentment. Now, when we have this kind of contentment, then we can handle with everything that we have to put up with, our own rubbish as well as everybody else's grievances, shortcomings, sufferings, our own suffering as well. We can deal with them more efficiently because we are not dealing with them desperately and neurotically. If we have to deal with things desperately, neurotically, what might happen most of the time is we will make things worse for ourselves and for others. So we diligently, of course, thoughtfully, of course, and with inspiration and with creativity and with perseverance, we will handle and conduct efficient body, speech, mind, ability to make things better for us and for others. But that is relative truth. isn't it? We don't have to do anything to make anything better for any of us ultimately, because ultimately everything's perfect. But relatively, we have to. Relatively, almost nothing is perfect. I say almost. Why? Because that perfect ultimate is the other side of the relative. The relative and ultimate is interconnected and interdependent, isn't it? So that is the part where it involves with each other. Other than that, ultimately perfect. Now, when we say, I am hopeful, we can mean so many things. But from this context, we are hopeful for the future of humanity, future of life on earth and beyond. Because ultimately, it will always be perfect. Relatively, we experience so many things, so already in many cases not perfect. So now this is my definition of contentment mind. A body contentment, speech contentment, well, if we look at the practice of every spirituality, then there is practice of silence. That is temporary stopgap measure for overcoming the imperfection of our habitual speech, at times negative, at times indulgence, at times really neurotic. And also just calm down, sit down and relax. So that way you physically don't indulge with anything. So there's no chance. Again, stopgap measure. No chance for physical neurotic activities. So this way, gradually we progress. Now, the body, speech, mind. Now, in body, speech, mind, when the methods are applied, then we can say the clearness of the mind will resonate through clearness of the speech and clearness of the activity, physical activity. Then this will, if we manage to, which we must, that is the definition of being a good practitioner, meditator. So when we manage to maintain this, then we progress. And we progress in a way that the perfect action and speech and thought becomes a natural, spontaneous second nature, your second nature. Why I say second nature? with due respect, many years back when I was talking and teaching about the bad habits of all of us individuals. Then somebody told me that is human nature. I absolutely don't agree. Human shortcoming is human nature. Human nature is perfect, but human habit is most of the time not perfect. So now, through cultivation, through practice, and sometimes people like to use the word training, but I'm not 100% sure about the word training being used here. So anyway, leave that for you to decide. Through constant practice, then the perfection, goodness, correctness becomes second nature. Closer to the ultimate primordial nature. I like to share with you few very essential teachings from the text. Here it is described very profoundly. All the obstacles, obscurations, they are relative and temporary, but they are outcome of the past imperfect intention, imperfect action. Therefore, one have to purify those outcome of the past. In Sanskrit, it is described as karma. So, past karma, why I say Sanskrit? Because karma is also many times misunderstood, I think. Why I say this is because people ask me a question about their problem. And they say, I have this problem. I tried so many things. It doesn't work out. I can't solve this problem. Is this my karma? So that is honest, sincere question which I respect very much. But according to my capacity of understanding of karma, then this question is sign of misunderstanding of what is karma. Because there's nothing which is not karma. Yes, right now I'm talking to you through the camera, but in the corner of my eye, a leaf dropped from the tree over there. Is that karma? Of course. The tree was planted, I don't know, hundreds of years ago, by a person or by a bird, by dropping the seed, or just in nature by wind blowing the seed here. And then this grew. And as a result of that, it have a leaf to fall. Now the ocean, the mountain, the plain, the condition of air, water, fire, earth, space, all in action. So it creates the wind, a breeze. Therefore, one particular leaf that was ready to fall because it came into that stage earlier than the other leaves due to many causes and conditions. So it fell down right now. And then you will naturally ask me a question. Does that mean trees have karma? Do you remember right at the beginning I say all sentient beings and their surroundings? So, for me as a human being, tree is a shade, and tree is source of oxygen for me, and tree takes away all the nitrogen or whatever correct scientific terminology. Forgive me if I say the wrong words. Then that it takes away, and the good ones it gives back to me. So it is part and parcel of everything and everyone. So it is action of everyone and everything that is involved in growing this tree and making this leaf fall right now at this time. The tree is here at this part of my present house where I'm staying, is part and parcel of the karma of everyone involved. And so this way you understand. Now, karma in Sanskrit means activity. So, you think of something, that is the beginning of karma. And then you say something or do something, that is the second stage of karma. Then you accomplish something from that word or that action, then that is third stage of karma. Then you are happy about it, then if it is a good thing, then that is good karma. If it is a bad thing, then that is a bad karma. It becomes complete. So this way, it is all interconnected. It is all related to each other. So interdependence of everything and everyone. Now this way, then what should we do as a Vajrayana practitioner, tantric practitioner, to address the heart of the Tantra? Now then it continues here. The sacred words are called mantra, which are the sacred method to realize the essence of the mind, which manifest through speech and activity and action. I will not go through these texts anymore because of the time, but I will explain this, what I have just read. I'm quite sure you heard about three kaya: Dharmakaya, Sambhogakaya, Nirmanakaya. These are the essence of the Tantra. Now, The Dharmakaya is the ultimate primordial essence of Buddha, all the Buddha. But Sambhogakaya is that Dharmakaya manifest to those who did not have that enlightenment or that freedom, or did not reach and mature that destination yet, to whom this ultimate primordial Dharmakaya manifest is Sambhogakaya and Nirmanakaya. Nirmanakaya, after enlightenment under the Bodhi tree at Bodh Gaya 2,600 years back, the physical form of the Prince Siddhartha as Buddha Shakyamuni is Nirmanakaya. Then all of the tantric deities that you know, all aspect of muscular manifestation, feminine manifestation, union manifestation, and also the colors and forms and the outer surrounding, such as mandalas, the outer aspect of mandalas, the inner, the essence of the mandala, or the central core of the mandala, is the deity itself. Kala Chakra, He Vajra, Guhe Samaja, etc., Vajravarahi, etc. So that is the deity, the Sambhogakaya, and its surrounding is the surrounding aspect of the mandala. Mandala describes both the deity and its surrounding. So this manifestation is there for us to practice, and through which then it becomes the pathway to reach that ultimate enlightenment or liberation, freedom, Buddhahood, the Prince Siddhartha had reached as our Buddha. But as he said, I am not the first, I am not the last. Because on this earth, according to the sutra, overall 7 individuals reached Buddhahood, not just enlightenment, the Buddhahood, and out of which 4 of them as prophesied 1,000 Buddha. So Prince Siddhartha, the Buddha Shakyamuni, is the 4th of the 1,000 prophesied Buddha who will attain enlightenment on this earth. So this way, Dharmakaya, Sambhogakaya, Nirmanakaya of the Buddha, and body, speech, mind of us. Ultimately, it connects. Relatively, our mind will understand the essence. Our speech can describe that essence, and our body, through eye, can see it, through hands, through our body, can feel it, touch it, and at times, as part of the tantric ritual practice, we even perform the Sambhogakaya and Nirmanakaya aspect of Buddha. We call it sacred Vajra Nityam. People, I think, more than a century call it Lama dance. I respect it very much. It becomes part of the everyday language, but it sounds a little odd to my ears because of my baggage, my baggage with my culture, my upbringing, my perception, etc. Nothing wrong with Lama dance, but this word dance is could be anything. So the sacred manifestation of the Dharmakaya as Sambhogakaya and Nirmanakaya is even depicted through performance as part of the practice, of course. So this way, I did my best to fit within your time bracket. Maybe I overstretch a little bit, but I did my best. And now one last thing. His Eminence Yongey Mingyur Rinpoche will continue this teaching and the practice and guide you. And there, what I can say to you, the most important thing is the ultimate essence of your mind. You should appreciate it, understand it, uphold it, cherish it, and then don't let it be contaminated even relatively. Ultimate contamination is impossible, but relatively many times to be auspicious, to be positive, not to say unauspicious words. I will say periodically we somehow contaminate this. So do your best not to do such contamination, not to involve in such contamination, and do your best to maintain the essence of your perfect inner potential, incorruptible, even relatively not corrupted as possible. I pray for your happiness, your joy, for each and every one of you to overcome whatever you wanted to overcome, and each one of you to contribute to the society, human society, as well as all the living beings, and also to the environment, whichever way you can and you wish to contribute for the betterment. Above all, may you all reach the absolute realization and the liberation of Buddha Vajradhara. Now we must dedicate the merit and benefit of what we have interacted here for the sake of all mother sentient beings throughout the universe. Sunam de tamji zikbani thomne nyebe danam pamchene jega nanche balap chupai siben solan rowa dowar sho jambal pawi chitar chemba tang kundu zambo teyang dejinde teda kunje jesu dalubjing gyawan deda tamja rabdo chanchu semchu rinpoche machi panam jejurji jeba nyamba mebrayo kone kondun pewarshu.
Short dedication, once in Tibetan and once in your own language. Sunam di tam che zikpani topne nye pedranam pamjene Kegana chi balap druk bayi si pe sole drowar sho. By this merit, may all attain omniscience and defeat the enemy wrongdoing. From the stormy waves of birth, old age, sickness, and death, from the ocean of existence, may all beings be free. Long life prayer for Tai Situ Rinpoche. He me gyal sap ten dang dro egun ma hong sangye gyal sap ma pampa Tai Situ Pema Dunyuki Ja Pe Ten Ching Zetrin Gyurchi. Regent of Padma, protector of the teachings and beings, future Buddha Maitreya, invincible regent, Tai Situ Peme Dunyo, may you live long and perform your enlightened acts on a vast scale.
Thank you so much, Stephanie, for leading us in our chants today. And thank you, Tim Olmsted, for introducing Rinpoche. And a special thank you to Tai Situ Rinpoche for his generous teaching today. Rinpoche mentioned that Mingyur Rinpoche will be doing other teachings on this topic, and I'd like to tell you a little bit about that. But first, I want to thank all of the donors who made a donation to support Tergar programs like this one during the registration process. As you know, Tergar is a nonprofit organization, and your donations help us fulfill our mission of making the ancient wisdom of meditation accessible to the modern world and bring us closer to our vision of joy and a world at peace. If you didn't get a chance to make a donation, you can still do that by scanning the QR code on your screen or visiting tergar.org/donate. Thank you once again for all of your support. And now we'll tell you a little bit about some programs that are coming up. If you'd like to continue to explore the Tantra teachings, you might consider subscribing to Vajrayana Online. It's Tergar's online teaching platform. And we have a series of courses right now related to the Tantra teachings with Mingyur Rinpoche. Next slide. The Voices of Tantra course introduces imagination, subtle body, and sadhana practice. This course includes teachings and interviews with renowned Vajrayana teachers and practitioners, Mingyur Rinpoche, Tsoknyi Rinpoche, Jetsunma Tenzin Palmo, and Sarah Harding. The Heart of Tantra Essence course, Mingyur Rinpoche highlights how working with the imagination and subtle body can deeply impact our lives in the modern world. In the Heart of Tantra Immersion course, this is a 6-month course that followed by a 3-month deepening on Jamyang Khentrol's text, Creation and Completion. These courses include webinars and weekly video teachings with Mingyur Rinpoche, interactive sessions with Tergar guides, curated readings, guided meditations, and experiential exercises. If you're interested, you can start a subscription with a 10-day free trial. Next slide, please. If you're curious on how to start a Buddhist path in Tergar, we have a 1.5-hour webinar coming up to introduce you to the practices of the Tergar path of liberation. Next slide, please. You will learn about the path of liberation in Vajrayana Buddhism and the 2 tracks of the Tergar program. This webinar includes a session of Q&A and a guided meditation practice with Kunsang Palmo and Tim Olmsted. So you can find more information at events.tergar.org. And then next, we have a retreat coming up to enter into the path of liberation, the Path of Liberation Level 1 retreat. And this is a 3-day online retreat with Mingyur Rinpoche. It's a perfect opportunity to explore and practice the Mahamudra teachings. This path of liberation, the path of liberation is Mingyur Rinpoche's step-by-step approach to Buddhist meditation. And in this retreat, Rinpoche will introduce the first stage of this training with teachings on the nature of mind and the practice liturgy that Rinpoche has composed called Nectar of the Path. Please note that this retreat has prerequisites to attend, but you will receive a special discount code in the follow-up emails for this retreat. So that's all of the announcements for today. I want to thank you once again for taking your time out to join us for this important teaching. And on behalf of my colleagues, Danny, Nicole, and Christine, and all of the interpreters who gave their time today to help with this program, thank you so much. We look forward to seeing you at a future Tergar program. Thank you.